Hi, I'm Peggy. Thanks for joining me. I hope you and yours are well. In my last video, I did an unboxing from Greenspaces.id, a plant seller out of Indonesia. Last December, I did an unboxing from Asian Plant Exports out of Thailand. So in today's video, I'd like to compare my experiences with the two companies. If this is something you may be interested in, stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Peggy's Tropical Garden, coming to you from the Florida Keys with an international plant buying comparison between Greenspaces.id and Asian Plant Exports. Okay, so I'm going to start off by giving you some background information about my purchases. Okay, from Greenspaces.id, I ordered 3 plants and received 3 plants. From Asian Plant Exports, I purchased 7 plants. So I ordered 7 plants and I received 5. I did end up having to go through some issues with the sellers to get a refund for the ones that I didn't receive and some other issues, but I'll show you that in the footage. I received 5 out of 7 plants. The average cost per plant from Asian Plant Exports was $35.45. And the average cost per plant from Greenspaces turned out to be $60. However, I do consider the plants that I ordered from Greenspaces more sought after plants, we'll call it, than the one that I purchased from Asian Export. Greenspaces, I received my plants from the day I ordered to the day I received it was 16 days. And for Asian Plant Exports, it took 22 days. Big difference here being that Greenspaces, automatically you get your plants delivered DHL Express. Whereas for Asian Plant Exports, I had to pay an additional $12 in order to get my plants sent express mail. I paid $25 for a phytosanitary certificate from Greenspaces, and I paid $35 for a phytosanitary certificate from Asian Plant Exports. So I think that's about all the background information that you need. So let's get going. One of the most important aspects of buying plants internationally is packaging. This is the package from Greenspaces. It was mailed on the 16th of March. As you can see, they included some insulation because there is cold weather in some states still. And the plants themselves were individually wrapped in paper. Now this is the package from Asian Exports, and it was mailed in mid-December. And as you can see, the plants are individually wrapped in paper. However, there is absolutely no insulation in the box at all. Each plant is individually wrapped in paper and also wrapped in plastic. Asian Exports kept their roots moist with plastic and sphagnum moss. Greenspaces, on the other hand, used toilet paper. And I'm talking lots and lots of toilet paper. I literally felt like my arm was going to fall off before I got the toilet paper off of the roots of this one plant. But hey, it did manage to keep the roots semi-moist. And I mean, all of this was used on one plant, but at least it's eco-friendly. In my opinion, the most important part of the plant is the root. The plant can be in bad shape, but if it has good roots, it has a chance. All of the plants I received from Greenspaces had much better root systems than the one from Asian Exports. They all needed a little hydrating. This was the smallest root system I got on any plant from Greenspaces. So after I put them in some water, I left them in there for a few days. And I mean, really within a few hours, the leaves on the plants had perked up. You could tell that the roots were viable, which I wasn't sure of some of them at first when they unpackaged them. But just, it was like as soon as I put them in the water, they soaked up that water, the roots plumped up, the leaves were perkier, and these plants just really, really bounced back. And this is what you want to see when you order plants internationally. Dehydration, no problem, as long as you have a good root system. And the results were the same with the melanochrysum. The plant bounced back immediately. I mean, those roots just soaked up the water. It had such a large stem on it that I didn't want to put it directly in water because I didn't want to run the risk of rotting the stem. But this plant, no problem. You can see from the leaves, just wonderful. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better response from plants that were a little dehydrated. Now, the plants from Asian exports were a little dehydrated also. This was the best root system on any of the plants that I received from them. And again, all of these plants were dehydrated as well. And I put them in water and the roots rotted. They were not viable roots. And I ended up cutting them back and ending up with this. So they had to stay in the water much longer because they had to actually grow roots. Now, the plants from Asian exports, they really don't give you a size of what you will be getting, but they do give pictures. This variegated burl marks was pretty much the only picture, in my opinion. Well, this and the dubia were the only plants that actually looked like the ones in the pictures. The rest of the plants that they gave as examples were much smaller. In terms of condition, I had ended up with broken stems like this Thai constellation, rotted plants, broken stems. We already saw that I didn't show you those roots, but the roots were just some of these plants. The Thai constellations didn't really have roots. They were more like cuttings. This one has a little new growth, and that was, I thought, a good sign. Hopefully I could bring it back. And this is the other Thai constellation, the second one that I ordered. And they had cut the second leaf back so far that it was basically just a one-leaf plant. The one on their website had several leaves. This is the Hoya Sunrise. Had I known it was going to be this small, I would not have ordered it. I would not have paid the shipping for it. And overall, this is the group of plants I received out of the 7. I received 5 and 3 were in good condition. Although out of that, only 2 didn't need to, actually grow roots. So overall, I'm not pleased with the size or the condition of the plants I received from Asian exports. Now, Greenspaces, those plants, very much like this is the small melanochrysum, okay? And it was, this was the small one. I couldn't believe it. I was very pleased with the size of these plants. They did look like the pictures that were on the website. The size was somewhat what I was expecting from what I was seeing on the website. Yeah, just a beautiful plant in excellent condition. And same with the mammei. I mean, excellent shape, no broken stems on any of these plants. And I mean, what can you say? This one, yes, the gloriosum had a yellow leaf and it probably won't make it, but there are 2 other nice healthy leaves that should be fine. So overall, no broken stems. I was much more pleased with the condition of the plants from Greenspaces, so much so that after 2 or 3 days, I felt good enough about the roots to go on and pot them up. So I have since potted up all of these plants, and they are responding well. None of the 3 are having any kind of issue at all. And I think you can tell in the pictures, the leaves are sitting up on their own. They don't look limp. They don't look dehydrated. No major problems, no broken stems. And again, just that one yellow leaf on the gloriosum is the only one that I think I will lose. So, I mean, you can't ask for more than that. Beautiful plant. And although I am very pleased with my purchase, I did notice that these plants are not the same size as the ones that they sent out as freebies to some other plant tubers. So you shouldn't necessarily expect that when you purchase these plants, you're going to get these big leaves that are much larger than your head and things like that. At least that is not my experience, as you can see. However, in all fairness to them, they do offer some of these in small, medium, and large sizes. So I presume that the large sizes would be the ones that you saw with the plant tubers. And the small melanochrysum was also ready to be potted up. I did put her on a moss pole because they apparently grow quite quickly and do like to climb. So I went on and did that now, and it's the kind where you can add one onto the top, so I can add to it as needed. But again, as you can see, this plant is there, it's not limp at all. It's standing on its own. All of the leaves are sitting up. There's no yellow leaves that are looking like they're going to die. So a nice healthy plant. Very pleased. Now the plants from Asian exports are now 3 months old, at least in my care for 3 months. And the variegated burl marks, as you can see, has grown quite a bit. Most of its leaves are green. I don't mind that. And then it goes and throws out this one that's primarily yellow. So it's doing its thing, and it has another leaf that's about to unfurl that looks like it too will be primarily yellow. So it is definitely variegated and healthy and doing well. This is one of the original leaves. It did make it. It is nicely variegated as well, and a nice healthy plant. Once I left it in the water long enough for the roots to develop nicely, it's never looked back since. It's growing quite well. Now the Hoya Sunrise, I did not have to place in water. The root system was ready to be planted, so I did, and it's been in under my grow light in this little pot, and it looks the same as the day I planted it. It hasn't done a thing. It's alive and well, but it's doing nothing. I am left with one Thai constellation. The other one rotted away. It didn't make it. The leaves, I mean, the roots just never developed. This one, I was able to develop some roots. It actually had 2 leaves until recently, and then one of the leaves died. It's just, this plant has been struggling the whole time I've had it. One of the other ones that's doing excellently is my Monstera dubia that I mounted on the pole, and it has grown to a second pole and around the pole, and it is doing well. I leave it outside on my porch, and it's been there all winter and doing great. Had absolutely no problems. I did have to put it on a bed of damp moss for a while, but then it was ready to go. So this plant, no struggles. So that's my comparison between the two companies. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Take care. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.